No one could have predicted the fall, at least not like this. Chip Gaines, once the smiling face of America's favorite fixer-upper, has been sentenced to life in prison. The courtroom fell into an eerie silence as the verdict was read. Joanna Gaines, composed but distant, stared ahead, clutching the hem of her dress. The empire they built together, the laughter-filled renovations, the feel-good home reveals, the warm Texan charm, was stripped bare in front of the world, revealing a maze of deception and financial misconduct that stunned even their staunchest supporters. It wasn't just one misstep. It was a full-blown collapse years in the making. 7 federal charges, money laundering, wire fraud, obstruction of justice, unanimously upheld by the jury. Prosecutors painted a picture not of an honest man lost in a whirlwind of success, but of a mastermind behind a carefully hidden web of shell companies, fake contracts, and offshore accounts. The evidence? A 147-page indictment, internal emails, voice recordings, and a trail of money transfers leading all the way to tax havens like Malta, Jersey, and the Cayman Islands. Perhaps the most damning testimony came from Jacob Armitage, Magnolia's former chief accountant. Taking the stand, he laid bare a culture of manipulation, complete with forged ledgers, phantom contractors, and inflated expenses that never existed. The model homes, the glossy renovations, many were tools in a larger game to funnel money through Magnolia Development LLC and its spin-offs. Prosecutors revealed building material contracts from companies that had gone bankrupt years ago, yet were somehow still billing Magnolia until 2023. Joanna's role was murky. She missed the early trial dates, her lawyers citing health reasons. When she did appear, she stayed silent, seated a row behind her husband. But as more documents surfaced, questions grew louder. Internal Magnolia emails showed she'd inquired about deductible expense ratios and market support payments, financial language tied to masking illicit transactions. Her legal team insisted she had no direct involvement, that she was focused on family and design, not finances. But to the public, the line between unknowing partner and complicit executive was starting to blur. In the weeks that followed the sentencing, Joanna moved swiftly to regain public trust. She stepped down from her executive duties at Magnolia Network, pledging to focus on family. She transferred 12% of her stake in the company to a nonprofit supporting education and homelessness programs in Texas. Critics saw it as a calculated PR move. Supporters saw redemption. Then came the kitchen video, a soft-lit, raw moment featuring Joanna cooking with her daughter. "Some things are gone forever," she said quietly, "but some we choose to keep." The clip went viral, striking a chord with a nation, grappling with its shattered image of the Gaines family. Chip, meanwhile, remained mostly silent. He didn't address the public during the trial. After sentencing, his legal team filed an appeal, citing withheld evidence and procedural violations. They claimed Jacob Armitage had a questionable past and that a disgruntled former shareholder had sparked the investigation not out of justice but revenge. One of his leaked emails to Joanna read, "If I am not called back, Magnolia will be exposed." Legal experts pointed out the possibility of a Brady violation, evidence favorable to the defense that was never shared. An independent court-appointed financial analyst released a report that only deepened the divide. While acknowledging Magnolia's lack of transparency and regulatory violations, it also stated that some flagged transactions were actually legal liquidity adjustments, a standard but risky business practice. It didn't excuse everything, but it introduced doubt. Had Chip orchestrated an elaborate fraud? Or had a combination of ambition, poor oversight, and internal power plays caused Magnolia's undoing? The media storm didn't wait for answers. Warner Brothers Discovery terminated their partnership with Magnolia Network. TV shows were pulled from platforms. Magnolia stores saw revenues crash by 60% in days. Several locations shut down. Auditors refused to sign the company's financials. A brand once worth nearly $1 billion disintegrated almost overnight. At Beaumont Federal Prison, Chip was moved to a separate unit for his safety after threats from other inmates. Visits were rare. In a letter to his son Drake, Chip wrote, "I won't ask for mercy, but I won't let the truth be twisted just so someone else can take their anger out on our family." It was his first emotional glimpse since the sentencing. Back home, Joanna is in negotiations to sell her remaining shares in Magnolia to a Northwest investment firm. Reports say she's signed a major book deal, a memoir set for release next year. It promises to be a candid, no-frills reflection on her life, her marriage, and the empire she helped build and watched unravel. What began as a humble dream in Waco became a cautionary tale etched into the American consciousness. From farmhouse chic interiors to a courtroom packed with press and witnesses, the Gaines story has taken a turn no one expected. Chip Gaines will be remembered not just as a builder of homes, but as a man who built something too big, too fast, and watched it all fall apart. The spotlight now shifts to Joanna. Whether she rises from the ashes or remains shadowed by the legacy they once proudly shared,